with you something that happened as when we had the meat company here. I had called once and to order some meat. And when I called, I didn't get a response, and I called back again. However, I didn't get the call directly from him, but he left a voicemail. In my daughter's presence today, she can tell you, because I played it for them, the humbleness in his voice. He could have directed anybody to do that, but he did it. And I kept it on my phone, and I played it several times and listened to it. You know, here's a man that didn't look at his followers or his students as being any less than himself.
Right, that's right.
He loved for his brothers and sisters what he loved for himself. Today, we're here assembled because of him and what he gave to us. The meat that he fed to us, he ate. The bread that he put on the table, he ate from the same bread. And his kindness and his beautiful life that he exhibited to humanity can never be replicated again. There was only one Imam Muhammad. And God created him and molded him into shape and made him the man that he was. Today, dear brothers and sisters, we have the opportunity to be the same in carrying out the will that he left with us as human beings, and that is for us to build something on this earth that is going to give humanity the opportunity to come back in its human form and bring humanity back the way it was in its original form when God created it. And when he said to the angels that God said, I'm about to make a man, he didn't say bow down to him when he's in his rough form. He said, wait until that man has accepted from me of my wisdom, then bow down. And what has happened after that occurred? We used to ride horses, but now we have one car that'll have 300 horses on the hood. And when we look at the car, we see the human spirit in it. It got two eyes. It's got a circulatory system. The battery is the heart. It's moving on a carpet of air. You know, these are the mercies from God. This is the angels bowing down to Adam and giving everything that God had commanded them to do. When we go under surgery and the doctor opens us up and goes in, as the brother said yesterday, speaking about taking out Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam's heart and giving him a bigger heart, a better heart. That happens to us too. That wasn't only for Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Happens for every human being.
That's right.
All of us was given that. When we accepted Al-Islam, we got a new heart. We got a new mind. And a new understanding. And we were able to see the human in us. When we look into the mirror in the morning now, we see even a glow in our face. There's a light. It says some would come with the light in the last day. Some would come dust stained. We see the light today. The light is with the righteous people. God has selected us to lead the world. If you want to see the new world power, look in your mirror at yourself and look at the brother and sister sitting next to you, and you will see the new world power. They're telling us about a new idea coming into order. That order's here. They want you to look for something else to come. If one new order is coming in, then the old order has to be going out. So today we're experiencing the new order of humanity coming in. And that order is the order that was given to us by Imam Muhammad. That's the new order. And nothing is going to be able to stop us from changing this world. You know, we look today and we may see just a few people. Imam Muhammad said he was never concerned with numbers.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know?
That's right.
You don't need a big army. Look what David did to Goliath. You know? You don't need a big army. The sword of truth will knock that giant down. And when we look around the world today, we see it all over the world today. We see that the people are rebelling against that type of mentality. They're saying we're not going to take this anymore. We're not afraid of you anymore. And when we look at our brothers and sisters in what they call the Middle East and the condition that they're in there, and we say, why are they there? Let's look back. If we look back and check the history, we'll find that in history it's written there, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said himself that his community would go to sleep. But it said they would wake up in a strange way. And meaning that the way they would come back into understanding that they'd been sleeping, that someone would shake them that they didn't recognize. And now you look at us today, and we are shaking the whole world. And some of them still ain't recognized us. They still don't see us as that important people that God has given the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding to resurrect humanity and bring humanity back to where it was in its original form. But there's no way today that we as a people can do this without the help of Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. We must remember that in order for us to accomplish this, we have to stand together. And we are a powerful, powerful people. God has given us this position on this earth. When I first met Imam Rasul, we talked about the lifeline, and then it wasn't called the lifeline. But I want to show you how God puts things together and manifests himself through his creation, and we are his creation. That's how he manifests himself. I said this once before and it was misunderstood. The manifestation of God is his creation. And we are his creation. And he manifests himself through us. We the human creation. But when I met my dear brother, Imam Rasul, we met on the phone, we were talking. And I was in my garden working and talking to him. I never forget that conversation. We talked about an hour. He kept asking me questions. I kept answering. I was hoeing and breaking and pulling leaves and talking to him. And so he said, brother, why don't you come on sometimes and give this. He said, I got this program. We talked about it. I said, okay. And so then he got me one morning. Somebody didn't come on a Monday. And he said, why don't you come on and talk about your plants? And I wasn't ready. But I went ahead by the grace of God, and it was the most beautiful experience I've ever had in my life. We came together, and many beautiful things have come from that program, and it's growing. It's going to grow. It's going to extend itself out into the hearts and minds of the people, and we now call it the lifeline because that's what it is. It's reaching out to the peoples, and people are calling in all around the country, from in fact California, Florida, etc., calling in from everywhere, and it's bringing the community back. And I want to say this also, is that to the problems that we have in our community, they're minimum. Where we have differences in thinking, look at the good. Let's look for the good those people are doing. The imams, the believers, let's look for the good that they're doing. Because if we look for the good that they're doing, and they are truly in their hearts and minds striving to do what's right, or they may be doing something that we may not see as being the best that they can do, Allah knows best what all of us have in our hearts and our minds. And if we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless those people to come back into this community, I do believe he'll answer our prayer. I believe that. I do believe that. There are some that's astray, and we know that they have made mistakes. I've made them myself, and I'm the first to say that. I cannot stand before you today and lie to you. I have to tell the truth. Because you're not going to judge me on the day of Yama Kanyama. Allah's going to judge me. And I got to be truthful. You know, no soul is perfect. Only Allah is perfect, without any imperfections. We should not look at our brothers and sisters and find and nitpick with them about something that they have done or something that's happened in the past. Give them an opportunity. Prophet Muhammad told his army that when you're on the battlefield and you got the enemy in a corner, don't surround him all the way. Leave them the opportunity to retreat. Because, what was he saying? These people may one day submit and become your brothers and your sisters and accept Islam. And the same thing is true today. If we don't give the people a door to come back through, they're locked out there forever. And this is not what Imam Muhammad would want of us. He's a kind man. There's people that said things about him. He forgave them. That's the type of man he was. And we have to be the same type of people. We have to forgive. We have to be kind to each other. We should never talk about if this Imam ain't doing so, we're going to do so and so and so to him. Because we got to remember something. There's people that made remarks about Imam Muhammad, and Allah punished them.
That's right. That's right.
Some of them died some pretty tough deaths. We don't know how much they suffered. So don't be judgmental of your brother and your sister. You be the example that you want to see in the world. And if we do that, we're going to see change. I'll guarantee you're going to see change. You know why? Because God, Allah, will make that change come about. Pray for Imam Wafdi Muhammad. Make dua for him. We should never forget that. So always remember to pray for him. Because the prayers we make for him, we're really making for ourselves too.
That's right.
Because we're part of the body of Christ. When we say, oh Allah bless Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad, we're speaking about ourselves too. Are we not the followers of Muhammad? Did Imam Muhammad take us and say, this is your leader?
Right.
He said, that's who I follow?
Right.
And the guidance that he gave to us was so beautiful that today we can go anywhere and teach this.
That's right.
Anywhere. We can go in a church house and teach this and not be afraid of the people rejecting it. We can go into penitentiaries and teach this. And the inmates will accept this as being the truth. And they'll be baptized in their mind and they'll come out a different person. They don't need psychiatrists and psychologists. They need truth and understanding. The things that they're doing in the penal institutions today is not converting or changing the person's condition when they come back into society. They're making them worse. So us who are in a leadership position or have the opportunity, we need to go into these places. We need to get permission from the governors, the sheriff, the police chief, wherever there's a man held incarcerated. Because we can take those handcuffs off. Physically and mentally. And give him his humanity back. And he becomes a constructive person in the society. We have to remember that everything that we do, we're held responsible for, and we have to be responsive to the demands of humanity. We as a family, we always want the best thereof. When we have a family gathering, usually we put the best foods, the best that we have out to serve that family. In supporting Mosque Cares, that is what Imam Muhammad left with us, all of us. And the Mosque Cares, the words speak for themselves. The Imam didn't say, when there was a problem with us, he said, I'm going to form this, the Mosque Cares. And everyone that cares for humanity, everyone that has respect for humanity, will support this. He gave us the opportunity to do that. He didn't tell nobody you had to. He said, this is what I'm going to do. And those who were his students and believed did that. They supported it. And I will say this much today. It's still being supported. And it will be supported in the future. That's not going to change. Allah will protect the Mosque Cares. His angels are present. So we don't have to worry about it going anywhere. It's going to be here. As long as Allah wills it, it'll be here.